The Link Show is just about to start. We have a brand new website, so head to thelinkcrew.com where you can see our most recent videos, play this week's Kahoot, and send in your shoutouts. Let's get started.
Today on The Link Show, we're continuing with our series on forgiveness.
And Buckle will be talking about Jacob and Esau.
We have another animated Bible story.
And another challenge for you.
All that and more.
Are you ready?
Let's get linked!
Oh, bro, it's coming up, it's coming up. No. Big.
Hello, Link Crew. Welcome back. Again, we're excited to have you here.
It's so good to see you guys. Thank you for sending out your shout outs on The Link Crew and answering our questions.
Oh, yeah. Keep sending them, by the way. We love to read them.
We do. And I've got another question for you this week.
Oh, okay. What is it?
If you could have any animal as a pet, what would it be?
I've had a few pets, but I reckon if I could, a pet monkey.
Why a monkey?
All right. Hear me out.
I'm ready.
You can play PlayStation with this monkey, right? Or it can literally get you drinks and stuff from the fridge, like sodas.
So like on the lazy factor and the bud factor.
Yeah, it's like having a little buddy
A little buddy.
around you.
I think I'd go a dolphin. I have a pool, but like a baby dolphin because how fun to swim with a dolphin.
That would be pretty fun.
What about you guys? Tell us. Send it to the Link Crew and new shout out page so that we can read them during the week.
But hey, let's go to Preach Part 1.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about when I was growing up. You see, at home when I was still a kid, I was the eldest in our family, and I had two younger sisters. So it's me, and then Michelle, and then Julie. And growing up, because I was the boy and then there were two girls in the family, we didn't always get along. Yes, there were some days where me and my sisters would play nicely together, and we'd get along, and it would all be fine. But then there were days where we would fight and argue and yell at each other. There were days where we just didn't get along. But I remember one time I played a prank on one of my sisters. I went outside and I found some gross leaves and some mud and some gross stuff that smelt disgusting, and I wrapped it up and I put it in her room. I put it in the back of her dollhouse, and I remember her coming into the room and saying, "Why does my room stink?" And I had been the reason for that. And eventually they found this wad of gross dirt and mud and smelly stuff from outside that I put in there, and I got in trouble. You see, I actively did something that was not kind to my sister. And then there were consequences for that. I got in trouble from my mum and dad. And then there were times where my sisters would do stuff that was mean to me. We had arguments and disagreements. You see, I think it's important to remember that sometimes in a family, we do things that is not kind and can hurt each other's feelings. We can put ourselves ahead of our family. And I remember when I got in trouble, I actually felt really bad for what I'd done to my sister. You see, now me and my sisters, we've all grown up and we've forgiven each other for all of the crazy things that we did to each other, all the pranks and tricks that we played on each other. And now as adults, we've forgiven each other and we're best friends. Every holidays, I throw my own kids into the car and we drive up to see my family so that we can all spend time together. But you see, sometimes when people hurt us or they hurt our feelings or they do things that we don't like, it's really easy to cut that person off from our lives forever and never let them back in. Now, I'm not talking about people that are dangerous or people that actually hurt you in a way that isn't safe. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about things like me and my sisters where we had an argument, we had a disagreement, we didn't get along, and instead of cutting each other off, we always made sure there was space for us to forgive each other and to rebuild our relationship, our friendship. And it's something my mum and dad would always remind us of, is that the Bible talks about the fact that we shouldn't go to bed having not forgiven the people in our world. And if you remember watching last week's episode of The Link Show, we even looked at that story of Jesus and Peter, and that Peter denied Jesus, and even Jesus said, "I forgive you." We learned that there's an expectation on us to forgive the people around us. And so today what I want to do is take a look at a Bible story a little later on of two brothers. One was the eldest, one was the youngest, but they were twins, and that they didn't get along. As they grew up from boys to young men, they did not get along. And to the point where one of the brothers betrayed the other. And so we're going to take a look and see what happens in that story, and we're also going to see how we should forgive our brothers and sisters when they hurt us too, but we'll talk about that in just a minute.
And we're back with another game, a very exciting game, what my producer told me. Again, I don't trust her.
Nope, and the looks that I'm seeing from the cameraman makes me stressed.
And there is a tablecloth, meaning I feel like it could get messy. There was a dead bug right there.
Which means it's already messy?
It's already messy.
But we're in white shirts, this is a white tablecloth, so I'm very nervous.
We've been in white shirts for the past couple games. It's been frightening. Anyway, let's go see what they have in store for us.
Okay, please, assistant, pass the goods.
Oh, that's mad.
Nuh-uh.
Oh,
For today's challenge,
jar.
you have to open the jar. Whoever
What?
opens the jar first wins.
Are we
That is
allowed-
all there is to it. But if you spill a drop of that mayonnaise, you get instantly disqualified. And
Different.
go.
Done. Alright, Link crew, I've just been informed another robbery has happened
Not a robbery.
here on the show that apparently I wasn't allowed to use the tablecloth because it was too quick of a game. So, meaning we have to redo it, a potential L. So if I lose, you now know what I face here on the Link Show, okay? So, what we're gonna have to do is we're not allowed to use the tablecloth, which wasn't said before.
He's
We
talking
just
so
have
much
to
smack.
we just have to use everything else. Okay.
Mate, if you're about to use your shirt,
Oh,
you have to wear this shirt.
I
like,
don't care.
like he at least got his open before.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Before we reveal this week's winner, let's take a look at our animated Bible story.
Jacob and Esau were twin brothers born to Isaac and Rebekah. And even before they were born, they fought with each other in their mother's womb. Esau was born first and was hairy, while Jacob was born next, holding on to Esau's heel. As they grew up, Esau became a skilled hunter, loved by his father Isaac, while Jacob preferred to stay at home. One day, while Esau was returning from hunting, he was very hungry, and Jacob was cooking some stew, and so Esau begged him for some. But Jacob saw an opportunity and said, "Sell me your birthright as the firstborn." Esau didn't care about his birthright, and so he agreed and exchanged it for a bowl of stew. Years later, when their father Isaac was old and nearly blind, he called Esau to him and asked him to hunt and prepare a meal, after which he would bless him. But Rebekah overheard this and told Jacob to disguise himself as Esau and receive the blessing instead. Reluctantly, Jacob followed his mother's plan and received the blessing that was meant for Esau. But when Esau found out, he was furious and he vowed to kill Jacob. And so, fearing for his life, Jacob fled to his uncle's house. Many years passed, during which time Jacob prospered and started a family of his own. But eventually he decided to return home. But on his journey, he heard that Esau was coming to find him with 400 men. And so Jacob was terrified. But when Esau's family finally met Jacob, something unexpected happened. Instead of seeking revenge, Esau hugged his brother and cried. Jacob was astonished by this display of forgiveness. Esau said to Jacob, "Brother, I already have enough. Keep what you have." And so Jacob returned home thankful for his brother's forgiveness. This story to me isn't as crazy as it sounds, because being the elder brother of two younger sisters, I know that I didn't get along with my sisters all the time. We'd fight and argue and we'd play pranks on each other and it would end in chaos. But the thing in this story that goes a little bit further is that Jacob lied and deceived those in his family for his own benefit. And so it causes him to have to run away because Esau is so angry. But not only did Jacob betray his brother Esau, but he lied to his father as well. But at the end of this story, when Jacob comes back, Esau had every right to stay offended and stay upset. But can you imagine what that would have done to Esau if he spent his whole life spending all of his thinking about how much he was angry and hated Jacob? If every day he woke up grumpy, I hate Jacob, I can't believe what he did to me, he would have grown up so grumpy and he would have wrecked his own life by holding on to unforgiveness. But I love that we learn that when Jacob and Esau come back together, Jacob says, brother, I've been blessed, I have everything I need, you keep what you have. He forgave his brother. You see, I love that it shows that Esau had everything he needed. He was looked after by God. He didn't live his life in anger and unforgiveness, letting that dictate the way he lived his life. Instead, he said, what's done is done. I'm going to forgive my brother and I'm going to get on living my own life. You see, the thing I want us to realize today that when we forgive people, yes, it is good for that person, but actually it frees us. It stops us from walking around with that weight on our lives of, I can't wait to get back at that person, or I can't wait to get revenge. But instead we forgive and we move on and we can live our own lives. But when we hold on to unforgiveness, it actually holds us back from living our own life and reaching what God has planned for us, because we spend so much of our time thinking about what that person did and what that person should have done, instead of thinking, what can I do to get a little bit closer to what God wants for me? And that's what we're going to learn today, that unforgiveness will hold you back, but forgiveness will allow you to move forward. And so for me, I love that I forgave my sisters and they forgave me whenever we messed up. And now our families are so close together. And so for you, if there's people that have hurt your feelings, like we said last week, if they have hurt you, you don't have to trust people again, especially if they might hurt you again. But we still need to forgive, because when we don't forgive, it holds us back. But when we forgive, we can move forward with the plan that God has for our lives.
Thanks for that, Buckle. Miguel, are you ready to see who won this week's challenge?
Not really, but yeah, I'm ready. You know what, let's go check it out and you tell me what you think.
Let's check it out.
Let's check it out. Oh, yeah.
Done. You gotta bang the lid, man.
Oh my goodness. Again, I am the clear winner, but apparently... Now see, this is where you guys can send in your shout outs, because we know I won.
Mate.
And the rules didn't state that I couldn't use a tablecloth.
See, it's become the running joke that I now have to go into challenges thinking like Miguel, because he finds every loophole, and I just like to play the game by the rules.
Hey, I just want to win. But you know what? Well done on this week's challenge, even though
Thank you.
it was a bit of iffy calls from our producers. But hey,
I'll take the win.
It's all love out here. I think you're 2-0 right now.
2-0 right now, but we're only 2 weeks in. We've got a whole term.
You know, you're right. I'm
Who
coming
knows?
back. I'm coming back.
I believe it.
I'm making a comeback.
I love that we learned today that even though Esau had every right to be angry with Jacob, he chose to forgive him so that they could be friends again.
And Jesus forgave us so we can be friends with God.
Anyway, that's all we have time for today on The Link Show.
We'll catch you next week. I'm Miguel.
I'm Cece.
And we'll see you next time on
The Link Show.
See you later.